next week. Just to tell you people
My people in don boss so Maxwell Opara don talk say in go take Tinubu to court by next week because of waiting in don do Mazina de Kalo and the actions will be say in the neglect about Mazina de Kalo. He say he must take him to court, nothing go stop him. In fact, I want make una pay attention, listen to waiting in talk. This man doggedness and in fearless act will be saying don the exhibit right now. In fact, the thing they even shock me. I don't know say this man they rugged like this. And again, I want make una also listen to waiting Mazina de Kalo be talk. Say my Buhari is a mad person. So many things will be say in don they unleash this man don't they unleash. I will be like saying that from within INEC and the pain will be say INEC will be say they don't show Mazina de Kalo. So in one even tell Tinubu say in fact in them say me doing war. So watch this video from the starting to the end. They share this video right now so that everybody go see waiting Maxwell they talk right now. Say he want take Tinubu to court and see whether he go do him or you no go do him. And drop your opinion at the comment section. Is it a welcome development? Is it a good thing for him to take him to court? Listen to waiting in talk. Don't forget to share to everyone on every social media platform. Now the only way on a fit take encourage support us. Click the subscribe button for more updates. And again, listening to waiting Mazina de Kalo talk long ago and no say that spirit will be seen in the use for gingering before instead they embody up to now. And that thing now waiting they keep Biafra going. We make Maxwell Opara to start to the ginger to Tinubu. Listen and watch for yourself.
You want to try this cities? Doesn't matter. It's not possible. Doesn't matter. To try this cities? Now they can't try this cities. It's not possible. They are killing my baby. Okay. After killing my baby, you tell me what to try the secret? The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell Buhari, that's what I said. That he is mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me. He's a madman. There's a contempt of court proceedings here. Contempt of court. They don't obey court order. They don't obey court order. You're telling me secret prayer. Is the person mad? Rubbish. Rubbish.
And what time are they going to testify?
When Buhari testified essentially in public, what happened? Why didn't he get his offices? He appoints judges. Buhari has appointed judges in this country. He should stop integrating judges. That is public. People can have it or not have it. I won't have it. I won't have it. Buhari can intimidate judges, not me. Nonsense.
it's not absolute. Even the presidential pardon, I am taking president to court by next week. Just to tell you people, it's not absolute. Listen, let me tell you, when president is moving, you are moving. When president is talking, you are talking. When president is taking a decision, you are taking the decision. Do you know the decision the president took? The president said that Maxwell Opara encourages murder by asking somebody who committed murder to go free. He's my president. When he's moving, Nigeria is moving. When he's sitting, Nigeria is sitting. When he's talking, Nigeria is talking. So you dare not take such a decision. You take it in line with the law.
Many of you can still recall that previously President Bola Ahmed Tinubu granted pardon and clemency as well as amnesty to about 173 Nigerians, both the living and those who have passed on. That argument is still trending on the internet space. You know, and more so, many of you will equally recall that Professor Yakubu Mahmood had just previously resigned or ended his tenure of office as the INEC chairman and handed over everything under his possession to the new administration under the new chairmanship of Professor Joash Ojo Amupitan. And not only that, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu went further to confer a national honor, a national award to Professor Yakubu Mahmood, and conferring on him the title of CON, Commander of the Order of the Niger. This very lawyer also argued that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has just rewarded Professor Yakubu Mahmood for being complicit in the 2023 presidential election, which is the most flawed election in the history of this country. That Professor Yakubu Mahmood does not merit that very national honors. He went further to highlight that Nigerians placed their hope on INEC under the leadership of Professor Yakubu Mahmood in 2023, but he flawed and trampled on the hopes thoughts of many Nigerians, and in fact, compass spit put for everybody face, therefore saying that Professor Yakubu Mahmood does not merit such a national honor. Well, it is not today that we have seen, principally among the political class, among the elite, that as a result of sycophancy, especially with APC administration, that decision-making has become a very big problem, among our political leaders. Because when sycophancy becomes too much, decision becomes very poor. And again, we lose the sight or the trajectory of meritocracy and begin to adopt and embrace mediocrity. That is what happens in a nation where the state has been captured, where every institution has been captured. Just like you see in the Nigeria of today, every governor is now decamping to APC, even when they know that Nigeria, by default, not just by default, comparatively with the rest of the world, must not and can never be a one-party system. But that is the design of the current political class. Gradually, they are drifting towards that, which I had already prophesied earlier if you have been following us on this very channel. It is very sad. I don't want to dwell so much again on the 2023 presidential election. That was the worst of it all. Up to today, Professor Yakubu Mahmood never told Nigeria what was responsible for the technical glitch that they had up till this moment. And he has resigned. And the business will continue, certainly, as usual. More so, what is currently very worrisome and very disturbing that all Nigerians need to know is that a law firm in this country, Nigeria, under the Freedom of Information Act, the name of the law firm is VC Otokbubu and Associate. The name sounds interesting anyway, but that is by the way. This law firm requested for Nigerian National Voter Registration Record and the polling unit that we have in this country, Nigeria. And they got a response from INEC, which was signed by the Secretary to the Commissioner, Rose Oriora Anthony, demanding this law firm to pay a whooping sum of 1.5 billion naira. According to that letter, they maintain that the 1.5 billion naira is part of the production cost and logistics, that they should pay in that money to INEC's remitters account, that as soon as that money is received by INEC, they will go into publishing and sending them those records. Don't forget that this very national register is very, very important in verifying any alleged case of multiple voter registration. It also helps to identify ghost voters and what we call disproportionate polling units, because politicians can be really very unscrupulous. Somebody can even assign a polling unit to his house or to his neighbor's house. At the end of the day, some people may not even know that there is a polling unit there, and they will end up stamping and thumbprinting results on the days of election. So by INEC demanding 1.5 billion naira from this law firm, it means that the verification that this law firm wants to do has been defeated in this country, Nigeria. A bigger question you will begin to ask: why has INEC not been able to make voter registration record digitally accessible to Nigerians? And why will a whooping sum of 1.5 billion naira required to get this register? Lack of transparency. I have always cried out about the government of the day, APC government. Lack of accountability, lack of transparency. Nobody is being held accountable for anything. The government leadership are not transparent at all. And that was the singular reason why the Minister of Works, Engineer Dave Umahi, got upset, got angry with Rufai Oseni when he asked him a very simple question: how much is the cost per kilometer on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway? What is the estimated cost? What is the actual cost? He could not provide an answer. Some days later, a publication came that it is 7.5 billion naira per kilometer. Still, if you divide 7.5 billion naira by the number of kilometers of that very project, or multiply 7.5 billion naira by the number of kilometers of that very road, you will still have question mark, which questions the characters of our political office holders. Now, going back to the voter registration record, since 1996 in this country, we had 119,974 polling units. However, in 2021, INEC expanded the polling units in this country. They expanded by creating more 56,872 polling units in this country. And that brings us all together in the Nigeria of today to a total of 176,846 polling units in this country. Yet, INEC is demanding 1.5 billion naira from a law firm before they can make these records available. It is pathetic when we talk about INEC reforms. INEC reforms alone may not be able to solve our problem without solving the criminality or the mindset or the criminal mindset behind the people who are leading us, who will always infiltrate all these institutions in order to lure them into doing their biddings. Unfortunately, we have less of a people in this country who still has integrity, that can stand their ground in the midst of all compromise, in the midst of all rascality, to say, we cannot do this, because integrity is doing the right thing, even when nobody is watching. Yet we claim that we are a Christian country, we claim that we are a Muslim country, that we worship the Almighty Allah in spirit and in truth, that we worship God in spirit and in truth. I have always known that in this part of the world, Africa, Nigeria, that we have very few Christians who actually love God, who actually believe in God, who are ready to do the things Christ, as a Christian, for example, has commanded us to do. Only very few people. And if you go to the Islam, it is the same thing. Only very few people who are ready to do what Prophet Muhammad, blessed be his holy name, who are ready to do what Prophet Muhammad has commanded the Islam or the Muslim to do. The problem we have in Nigeria is complicated. And 2027 will be another defining point for all of us. All hands must be on deck. Yes, we must take Nigeria by being intentional, by matching the opposition with their own whims and caprices, with their own tactics. Yes, Nigerians must be resilient, persevered enough, and intentional. Not just voting and going home. You must vote and defend your vote in all ramifications at all levels. Otherwise, you see this criminality and rascality, it will continue. But all the same, I'll allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. Man, another person see him. God bless you.